Everyone, welcome to today's special conversation with Pastor Doug. Pastor Doug, thank you so much for being here today. It's just awesome to have this time with you to talk about serving.
Yes. And we both wore our Hey Dudes.
We both wore our Hey Dudes.
We should get some sponsorship money.
I definitely think so. Anyone watching out there from the company, we would like, some sort of
Look us up.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to talk about serving today, and with so many of these different serving opportunities coming up, like Be the Church and At the Movies, what would you say serving really is when it gets down to the core of it?
Well, I think first of all, it was modeled for us by Jesus. Jesus said, I didn't come to this earth to be served, but I came to serve others. And so we're never more like Jesus than when we serve and we put others first and think about them. And I think God created us to serve and be the hands and feet of Jesus to make a difference in other people's lives.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of hands and feet, that's something we often hear. Sometimes we hear we hear pastors and other church leaders that say, hey, when it comes to serving, it's your opportunity to be the hands and feet of Jesus. But what does that really mean?
Yeah. Well, I think it's Jesus set the example for us, to put other people first and to serve other people. He washed the disciples' feet.
That's right.
When they were probably thinking, we should be washing your feet. You're Jesus.
Right. That's right.
And he did that to model servanthood and to put other people first. And so when we say we're the hands and feet of Jesus, Jesus is not physically here on this earth anymore. He's in heaven, seated at the right hand of the Father. But when we serve in the name of Jesus, we get to live out the life that Jesus lived out when he was here. But we get to literally be the hands and feet of Jesus in Jesus' name, because we talk about people experiencing the love of Jesus, the grace of Jesus, and the presence of Jesus, but we get to kind of be Jesus with skin on by serving other people like Jesus would do in his name.
That's great.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, is there any particular passage in the Bible or story that you think really models that or kind of illustrates what serving is all about?
Well, I think it would be this what I mentioned, whenever the disciples came into the room with Jesus, he was their master. He was their leader. He was their rabbi, their teacher, and they wanted to honor him, and he shocked them by, instead of them washing his feet, he washed their feet.
Yeah.
And that would have been very humbling for them. But Jesus did that as an example.
Yeah.
Model serving.
That's a great story. And for some of you who are not familiar with that passage, like Jesus actually washing people's feet, maybe you've heard about it before. Maybe you even grew up in a church where they actually did that. Also think of those passages where, there are people who are quarreling who's going to be first and last, and Jesus always brought it back to serving. So thank you so much for bringing that passage as we talk about this. What do you think, though, when we talk about serving, when we talk about being the hands and feet of Jesus, what do you think people get out of that, though, when they do it? I mean, is it something that they can benefit from, or is it just something that we're just kind of getting them to do, Not that we're trying to do that, intentionally, right? But is there something that they actually get out of it, What would you say to that?
Yeah, it's not something that we want from people. It's something we want for people. God created us to serve and make a difference. And when we do that, it feels really good. We often say here at Orchard Church, when you serve, when you give, when you pray for people, when you invite people, you may not know every story of life change, but you have a part in every story. And there's not a greater feeling than knowing you've made an eternal difference in someone's life.
Absolutely.
Through your serving.
Yeah. So you've been in ministry for 30 some years.
Yep. 34.
30.
Which means I'm old.
I wasn't trying to give that away, but you look great for your age. Let me just say that for everyone. He looks great for his age.
He's looking.
This is no special effects here.
He's looking for a raise or a bonus.
No filter going on.
It might work.
You've been in ministry for a long time. You've been a faithful servant of God. And first of all, we just want to say thank you for being faithful. Thank you for modeling that. Thank you for your leadership. So when I ask this question, I think you're a great person to answer this. What do you think when it comes to serving is maybe something that this is the hard part of serving? What's one of the hardest things about serving? And maybe maybe one of the easiest. Like, what would you say, like, to someone who's thinking about it, but they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can give some encouragement there, or
Yeah.
maybe a reality check. I don't know.
Well, and we've got some great opportunities to serve coming up, like you just said, with Be the Church weekend, next weekend, and then at the movies for 5 weeks to serve. Maybe you haven't served at all this year, but you're like, I might want to try this, but I'm apprehensive. I'm not sure. Those are some great opportunities to try it out and see it's going to make a difference. And I think probably the hesitation for a lot of people is like, am I good enough? Do I have the abilities? Do I know enough? And I love the statement, God's not looking for our ability, he's looking for our availability. Just being willing to be available, and you step into it and do it, and it can be kind of scary at first, and then you're going to go, wow, I could do this. Anybody can do this. And I made a difference. I had a part in all that God is doing. We believe, we're praying and expecting that God is going to do amazing things over the next 5 or 6 weeks as we serve with Be the Church, as we have At the Movies, our most invitable series of the entire year. We believe we'll see more decisions for Christ during At the Movies than any series we have for the last 5 years. The history is there. We're believing
absolutely
for that again. We're expecting that again as we all are praying and inviting and serving. And so when we celebrate, all of those lives that are changed, when you serve, you have a part in that.
Yeah.
For all eternity.
That's really encouraging. And so, I really appreciate that what you shared. So thank you so much, because I think there may be some of you watching today who may be hesitant, and so maybe thinking this is really hard. But again, it's the easiest part is just being willing to do that. Your availability, God will help you with all that. There's no special skills required, and regardless of your fear. So thank you for that encouragement. I guess there's really only one more thing I just kind of want to ask you, and that's maybe something most people don't think about or think to ask. But when it comes to serving, is there something that we need to do, or maybe you would encourage someone to do to prepare themselves? Like maybe mentally or spiritually? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say, first, just take a step of faith and sign up to do it. Give it a try. I mean, we've got Be the Church coming up, and everybody can do that. In Brighton, we're going to be serving at City Hall. They've said that there's a lot of kind of cleanup, and there's some remulching of things on their landscaping. I mean, it doesn't take any special skills to do that. Just being willing to be outside and be available, and your kids can do it with you. And I think that's another powerful thing of serving. These are all family-friendly serving opportunities for Be the Church and even At the Movies. And man, what a powerful thing to model for your kids. The benefits and the blessings of serving. If you want we want to raise kids that are focused on others more than themselves, then we have to do that ourselves as parents. We have to model that for them. And so these events are opportunities to do this with your kids as a family. Like God has blessed us, and we want to be a blessing to other people. We're blessed to be a blessing. Let's serve. Let's be a part of what God is doing. So Be the Church, we've got that in Brighton and GBR, because this is our first opportunity to do At the Movies down there, obviously.
Right.
Never done that down there.
It's exciting.
So super exciting, but they're all like, what is At the Movies? What is this all about? And so the thing we're going to do down there is we want to get the word out. And so we're going to do a lot of door hangers. And who can't do that? You just go up to the door, hang it on there. And to this day, we did door hangers before we launched, 2.5 months ago, and we still have people showing up because of the door hanger.
Right.
They kept them, and so God is still working through that, through a simple door hanger. And who knows, you might take a door hanger, or your kids, put it on a door, they come to At the Movies, and they say yes to Jesus, and their life is changed, their eternal destination is changed, because we simply were willing to walk a neighborhood and put a door hanger, on someone's door. We all know our mission at Orchard Church is to be people, helping people find and follow Jesus. And sometimes we may think, I don't know what to say, or I don't know the verses or the right Bible answers.
Right.
You can hang a door hanger and just watch what God does with that.
Right.
That's the simplicity and the benefits of serving, and God can do, amazing things, and modeling that for our kids as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Great opportunities.
Yeah. So That's a great answer, and I love it. Because really, when I ask you the question, what we can do to be prepared, is like making that decision to just say yes. Yes, God, I'm ready to be used, and having that attitude that God can do amazing things through the simplest of actions when we say yes and we're willing to serve and volunteer for these days. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I know you have a couple more important things you want to say before we leave, so I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike, for the time. First of all, just want to remind everyone that At the Movies is going to be kicking off July 21st. Summer at the Movies 2024 is going to be awesome. By now, you should know the theme is Wonka, where we're going to be preparing by completely transforming our lobby. And you can serve by helping us if you like to paint or do construction, a lot of those things. You can sign up in the Orchard app, and then you're going to have 5 weeks where you can serve, giving out popcorn and candy and sodas and lots of serving opportunities for At the Movies. So take advantage of that by signing up in the Orchard app. And then if you attend the Brighton location, because of the volume of people we're expecting, which is a great thing, we want to ask you to please RSVP for the service you're planning to attend during At the Movies. So there's plenty of room for you, your family, your friends, coworkers, all those you're inviting, and plenty of room for people in our community that are going to show up. If you can consider the 8:30 or 11:30, there'll probably be a little more open space there than the 10 o'clock. We want to make sure there's plenty of seats for everyone so we can help people find and follow Jesus that way. And then I hope you'll plan to join us next Sunday. Don't join us in person for services. We won't be here. We will be in the community.
That's right.
Serving, just like we talked about today. So you can sign up to serve Brighton or GVR. Great way to live on mission to help people find and follow Jesus. But man, it's going to be an exciting next 6 weeks as we live out our mission. We're expecting God to do great things, be praying for those people, and be a part of all that God is doing this summer at Orchard Church. Can't wait to see you guys.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.